There is a silent habit that destroys more potential than failure ever could. It does not make noise, it does not announce itself, but it slowly eats away at who you are becoming. Comparison. The moment you start measuring your life against someone else's, you step into a race you were never meant to run. A race with no finish line. A race where the rules keep changing depending on who you are watching. And the worst part is not that you lose, it is that you forget yourself while trying not to lose, because your attention is locked on other people's progress, their success, their pace, their highlight moments. Something far more important is being neglected. Your own path, your own growth, your own life unfolding in silence. Real change does not happen where people are watching. It does not happen in applause. It does not happen in approval. It happens in private, when no one is there to clap, when no one is there to notice, when there is no reward waiting at the end of the effort. That is where character is built, not in being seen, but in being consistent when no one sees anything at all. Life, at some point, stops pretending to be fair. It will test you without warning. It will knock you down in ways you did not prepare for. And sometimes, it won't even explain why. You will lose things you worked for. You will face situations you did not deserve. You will have moments where nothing makes sense, and you are left sitting in the aftermath trying to understand what went wrong. And here's the truth most people do not want to hear. Not everything is your fault, but what you do after the fall always belongs to you. Because life does not define you by how you fall. It defines you by what you decide to do next. Staying down is not a circumstance, it becomes a choice. Getting back up is not a dramatic moment. It's not a single heroic decision where everything changes instantly. It's something far more difficult than that. It is repetition. It is waking up and deciding again and again and again, even when it's heavy, even when nothing feels different, even when no one acknowledges the effort. There is no guarantee that it gets easier, but something else happens instead. Every time you stand back up, you become slightly harder to break, not in a way that makes you cold, but in a way that makes you stable, centered, less dependent on approval, less shaken by noise, more rooted in yourself. People often talk about strength as if it were aggression, as if being strong means being untouchable. But real strength has nothing to do with how you face the world. It has everything to do with how honest you are with yourself. Can you admit when you're wrong without turning it into someone else's fault? Can you face your fears without dressing them up as excuses? Can you look at your habits, your choices, your patterns, without softening the truth just to feel better? That's where real transformation begins. And yes, it's uncomfortable, because honesty removes all the places you hide. It removes the stories you tell yourself to avoid change. It removes the comfort of pretending you're already doing enough. But without that discomfort, nothing inside you ever truly shifts. Most people avoid this entirely, not because they can't change, but because complaining is easier than taking responsibility. It feels safer to say the world is unfair than to ask what you can control. It feels easier to compare yourself to others than to define your own direction. It feels easier to blame circumstances than to confront patterns. And slowly, without realizing it, a life built on avoidance becomes a life stuck in repetition. Same problems, same frustrations, same excuses, just different days. But there is another path, a quieter one, a harder one, an honest one. It's the path where you stop outsourcing your worth to external validation, where you stop waiting for motivation and start relying on discipline, where you stop measuring yourself against others and start measuring yourself against who you were yesterday. It's not glamorous. No one celebrates it. Most people won't even notice it. But it's the only path that actually changes you. Because every time you choose to stand back up again, every time you choose discipline over comfort, every time you continue in silence when no one is watching, you are building something that cannot be taken away from you: your dignity. Not the kind that depends on recognition, not the kind that disappears when people stop paying attention, but the kind that stays with you even when everything else feels uncertain. And over time, that becomes your foundation. Not success, not status, not comparison, but the quiet confidence of knowing you didn't give up on yourself. So stop comparing. Stop measuring your life through someone else's highlight reel. Stop using other people's progress as proof that you're behind, because you are not behind. You are just not them, and you were never supposed to be. Your only real competition has always been the version of you that almost gave up yesterday. And every time you choose to keep going anyway, you win something far more important than approval. You win yourself. If you love this video, make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more content like this.